Imagine this. A military jet soaring through the skies over West Africa suddenly hits a serious technical snag. The pilots have no choice. They need to land fast or risk disaster. They touch down in a country that's not exactly on friendly terms with theirs right now. Within hours, soldiers from that nation swarm the plane, detain the crew, and the whole thing spirals into an international incident that could have escalated into something much worse. 11 servicemen held captive, air forces on high alert, accusations flying back and forth. This isn't some old Cold War story. It's what happened just recently between two neighboring African nations, Nigeria and Burkina Faso, and it shows how fragile peace can be in a region already full of tension. Let's step back a bit to understand the bigger picture. West Africa has been going through some major changes in recent years. A group of 3 countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, have all seen military takeovers. Their new leaders, young officers who came to power through coups, decided they were fed up with the old regional bloc called ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. They pulled out and formed their own alliance called the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES. These countries have turned away from traditional Western partners like France and the US, and instead gotten closer to Russia for military help and support. Meanwhile, bigger players in ECOWAS, like Nigeria, have stuck with Western alliances. It's created a real divide, almost like 2 camps staring each other down across the region. Now, fast forward to late 2025. A Nigerian military aircraft is on a routine flight, heading all the way to Portugal. Everything seems normal until a technical problem forces the pilots to make an emergency landing. They end up in Burkina Faso without the proper overflight permissions cleared in advance. To the Burkina Faso authorities, this looks suspicious. In a time of heightened tensions, an unauthorized foreign military plane landing on your soil? Alarm bells ring immediately.
The AES alliance doesn't hold back. They quickly label it an unfriendly act and put their air forces on maximum alert across all 3 countries. They even go as far as authorizing their pilots to shoot down any aircraft that violates their airspace without permission. You can feel the strain here. These nations are on edge, dealing with their own internal jihadist insurgencies and political instability. One wrong move and things could erupt. 11 Nigerian Air Force personnel are detained right there on the tarmac. They're held in Burkina Faso, and news spreads fast. Back in Nigeria, there's concern for their safety. Families worry, officials scramble. The plane itself is grounded, and questions swirl. Was this really just a technical issue or something more? Irregularities in the flight authorizations come to light, adding fuel to the suspicions. But here's where diplomacy steps in and prevents a bigger crisis. Nigeria doesn't respond with anger or threats. Instead, they send a high-level delegation straight to Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. Leading it is Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuggar. He meets face-to-face with Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young captain who seized power in a coup a few years back and has become a symbol of this new assertive direction for his country. In a public statement broadcast on national television, Minister Tuggar offers a formal apology. He calls the incident regrettable, admits there were irregularities with the overflight permissions, and expresses deep sorrow for what happened. It's a humble move from Africa's most populous nation to a smaller neighbor run by a military junta. Tuggar says, quote, "There were irregularities concerning the overflight authorizations, which was regrettable, and we apologize for this unfortunate incident." The response is positive. The detained servicemen, 11 of them, are released. Reports say they're in high spirits, relieved to be free. Both sides agree to keep talking regularly, to build better cooperation, and even work on deeper regional ties. The personnel are set to return home soon, though details on the exact timing and the plane's fate are still a bit unclear as of now. This story could have ended so differently. In a region where coups, conflicts, and rival alliances are the norm, one spark like this might have led to confrontation. Instead, it ended with handshakes, apologies, and a commitment to dialogue. It reminds us how important communication is between nations, especially when old friendships are strained by new politics. Think about those 11 men for a moment. Far from home, detained in a foreign land amid political drama they probably had no part in creating. Their relief must have been overwhelming when freedom came. And for the leaders involved, it was a test of maturity, choosing de-escalation over pride. In the end, this incident shines a light on the shifting sands of African geopolitics. Alliances are changing, trust is fragile, but there's still room for reason and reconciliation. Nigeria's apology didn't weaken it. If anything, it showed strength in seeking peace. As West Africa navigates these turbulent times, stories like this give a glimmer of hope that cooler heads can prevail, keeping the focus on unity and stability for millions of people across the region. What do you think? Could this be a step toward healing the divide, or just a temporary patch? History will tell, but for now, those servicemen are heading home, and that's something to be thankful for.